there's a strength that people praise. But it quietly destroys your relationships. It looks like independence. It sounds like, I'm fine. I'll handle it. Don't worry about me. I don't need anyone. You're the one who fixes problems. The one who stays steady. The one who never asks for help. And everyone loves that version of you because it's convenient. But here's what they don't see. Sometimes that self-reliance isn't confidence. It's a trauma response. It's your nervous system saying, depending on people is unsafe. And if this is your pattern, you're not just independent. You're armored. Today we're breaking down why you feel safer alone, how trauma-based self-reliance forms, the hidden cost you pay, and how to accept support without losing your power. In episode 1, we talked about traumatic intelligence. How survival can train you into deep perception and competence. In episode 2, we talked about staying calm in chaos and crashing later. Delayed nervous system processing. Episode 3 is about what often sits underneath both, self-reliance. Not the healthy kind. Not that I can take care of myself kind. I'm talking about the kind where you don't ask for help even when you're drowning. Where you feel guilty for needing anything. Where you'd rather suffer quietly than risk being a burden. Where love feels good, but also dangerous. This pattern usually begins with one painful lesson: support wasn't consistent. So your system learned a rule. If I depend, I get hurt. And then you made a decision, often unconsciously. I'll do it myself. By the end of this video, you'll recognize the 7 signs of trauma-based self-reliance. Why compliments and help can feel uncomfortable. Why you might attract emotionally unavailable people. And a step-by-step method to practice receiving without panicking. And I want you to pay attention to the last part, because healing doesn't mean becoming needy. It means becoming safe enough to be supported. If you already know you're the "I'll handle it" person, comment me right now. Not because it fixes anything, because it proves you're not the only one living like this. And keep watching, because the next part exposes the real reason help feels unsafe. Part 1, where self-reliance really comes from. Let's talk about how this starts. In a stable environment, a child learns something simple: if I need something, I can ask. If I'm overwhelmed, someone will help. If I make a mistake, I won't lose love. If I feel sad, someone will notice. If I'm scared, someone will protect me. That creates a nervous system that trusts connection. But in an unstable environment, the lessons are different. Maybe help came with strings attached. Maybe people made promises and didn't keep them. Maybe adults were emotionally unpredictable. Maybe your needs were treated like an inconvenience. Maybe you were praised for being easy and mature. Maybe you had to grow up early. Maybe you became the translator, the peacemaker, the caretaker. Maybe you learned to stay quiet to avoid conflict. So your nervous system adapted. And the adaptation wasn't philosophical. It was biological. It became a safety strategy. Because if asking for help led to shame, rejection, punishment, disappointment, or emotional chaos, then asking felt dangerous. So you stopped. And you replaced need with competence. You became the person who figures it out, fixes it, carries it, handles it, keeps going. That's why self-reliance can look impressive. But the root isn't always strength. Sometimes the root is, I learned that needing people costs too much. Part 2: 7 signs your self-reliance is a trauma response. Here are 7 signs your self-reliance isn't just independence, it's protection. You reject help automatically. Someone offers support and you instantly say, "No, I'm good." Even when you're not good. And you don't even pause to check what you actually need. It's reflex. Because receiving feels like exposure. You'd rather struggle than ask a simple question. You will spend hours stuck, stressed, overwhelmed instead of asking a 5-second question. Not because you're arrogant. Because asking triggers an old fear. What if they say no? What if they judge me? What if they use it against me? What if I look weak? So you carry it. And you call it being capable. You minimize your needs until you can't feel them. You tell yourself, "It's fine. It's not that bad. I'll deal with it. Other people have it worse." Over time, you become so good at minimizing that you stop knowing what you need. You only know what other people need. You become fluent in everyone else and emotionally illiterate in yourself. Compliments don't land. Someone says something kind and you deflect. You say, "Oh, it was nothing." You laugh it off. You change the subject. But inside, your body tightens. Because praise can feel like a setup, like something you'll have to maintain. Or like something that will be taken away the moment you fail. So you don't let it in. You feel safest when you're the giver. You like being the helper. The fixer. The strong one. The one who shows up. Because giving gives you control. Receiving gives you vulnerability. So you choose control. And you call it generosity. But sometimes it's protection. You feel uncomfortable when someone gets too close. When someone tries to truly know you. Your real thoughts, real fears, real needs, something inside you tightens. You may become distant. You may become busy. You may become overly logical. Not because you don't care. Because closeness activates threat in a system trained by inconsistency. You attract or tolerate emotionally unavailable relationships. If your nervous system equates closeness with risk, you may unconsciously choose people who keep distance. People who can't fully show up. People who give mixed signals. People who love you in theory but not in practice. Because it feels familiar. Healthy closeness can feel strange when your system learned love was unstable. So you call distance normal. And you call consistency boring. That's not preference. That's conditioning. Quick check, which one hit you hardest, 1, 3, or 7? Drop the number in the comments. And if you're still watching, you're not just curious, you're recognizing a pattern that's been running your life. Part 3, the hidden cost of trauma-based self-reliance. Now let's talk about the cost. Because trauma-based self-reliance doesn't just make you strong. It makes you tired. It makes you isolated. It turns life into a solo mission. Over time, it creates chronic stress from carrying everything alone. Resentment because nobody helps, even though you rarely ask. Emotional disconnection because you don't share the real you. Intimacy issues because closeness triggers threat. Burnout because your nervous system never gets to rest. And the worst part? People may not even realize you need support. Because you trained them not to. You present as capable. You present as fine. You present as independent. So the world assumes they've got it. But inside you're thinking, why do I feel so alone? Because the pattern that protected you also blocked you. Self-reliance can be a survival skill. But it can also be a prison you decorate with achievement. Part 4: Why receiving feels dangerous. Why does receiving help feel so uncomfortable? Because receiving triggers vulnerability. And vulnerability triggers memory, not always conscious memory, but nervous system memory. If in your past, help meant being controlled, being judged, being shamed, being disappointed, being indebted, being trapped, having your weakness weaponized later, then your body learned help is not safe. So when someone offers support now, your system doesn't ask, is this person kind? It asks, what's the cost? That's why you might feel tension in your chest when someone tries to be generous. That's why kindness can make you suspicious. Your mind wants support. Your body expects a price. This isn't you being difficult. This is you being trained. And the goal is not to force yourself to trust everyone. The goal is to teach your nervous system, support can exist without danger. Part 5: How to practice receiving without panicking. You don't fix trauma-based self-reliance by forcing yourself to depend on people overnight. You fix it the same way the pattern formed, through repetition. Start with low-risk receiving. Let someone hold the door. Carry something. Explain something. Send you a link. Pick the restaurant. Help with a simple task. Small wins build safety. Replace the automatic no with a pause. Practice, thank you, give me a second. Then ask, do I actually want to accept this? Practice partial honesty. Try, I've been handling a lot lately. I could use a little support. I'm working on not doing everything alone. Receive without paying it back immediately. Say, thank you. That really helps. And stop there. Let the discomfort rise. That discomfort is rewiring. Choose one safe person, not everybody. Pick one person who has shown consistency. Practice small receiving with them. If your body learns safety with one person, it starts believing safety exists. Redefine strength. Strength isn't I need nothing. Strength is, I can ask without shame. I can receive without losing myself. I can be supported and still be powerful. Part 6: The Reframe. Self-reliance helped you survive. It made you competent. It made you resilient. It made you capable. So we're not erasing it. We're upgrading it. Healthy self-reliance says, I can handle things, and I can accept support. Trauma-based self-reliance says, I must handle everything, because support is unsafe. One is freedom. The other is fear. You don't have to earn support by suffering first. You are allowed to be held, not just helpful. You are allowed to need. Needing is not weakness. Needing is human. If this episode hit you, comment alone. Just that word. Because trauma-based self-reliance looks strong, but it feels lonely. And if you want episode 4, it's about the trap that keeps self-reliant people stuck, people-pleasing. Why you manage everyone's emotions, why you can't say no, and how to set boundaries without guilt. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Episode 4 is next. And if you haven't watched episode 1 and 2 yet, start there. This series only gets sharper.